Carlo Ancelotti started with a lineup that it was not successful, and Real Madrid loses its undefeated season after 6 games being undefeated. So you can't miss the show. We'll start right now. Muy buena, mi gente, aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de Fútbol con Bambam.
Dentro del área, golpea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome everybody, and here we go. This is Fútbol con Bambam, and yes, Real Madrid has lost their undefeated season 3-1 against Atletico Madrid. Today was actually the derby. It was an important game for the league, for positions. Atletico Madrid has not been successful during the beginning of this season, but they just fixed it today. With a victory over Real Madrid is actually a big plus for them because they put themselves in a 5th position in the table right now. And Real Madrid now is on the 3rd position when it was actually 1st position earlier this week. So what's going on with Real Madrid right now? Well, Carlos Ancelotti does a lot of rotations in this game. One of the rotations that he did it as a key that I think it was one of the faults why Real Madrid was so disrupted on the defensive side is the taking Tchouaméni out, putting Camavinga, but then the mistake has been right now that Luka Modric and Toni Kroos being together are not meant to play together no longer. It's a shame because these two legends from Real Madrid has given so much to the club. However, 38 years old and 34 years old give you already an amount of age that is shown that one of these reasons why Toni Kroos and Luka Modric do not belong to be in the same time. They could probably be a good duo for a game like the next one, which is Las Palmas coming and visiting Real Madrid. But a day like today, that is the derby, that you know is a physical game, that you know that Cholo Simeone loves to close in the back. You need your striker. You need a person who's actually solid in the defense, watching that counterattack. Obviously, Modric was today not his day. 3 key losses, one of them actually in result of a goal. Not because of mainly of his fault, but one of the losses that created the next pattern to be able to. Lino does the center back, and obviously David Alaba was not his day. David Alaba's not been one of the best center backs as he's been showing previously a couple years ago. Right now, Morata scores 2 key goals in this game. Both of them missed by David Alaba. One of them a little bit more on Fran Garcia than David Alaba, but still David Alaba lost the mark. And this was the 2nd goal from Morata in the 2nd half. Now, Antoine Griezmann scores the 2nd goal for Atletico Madrid. And this was at the beginning of the game. We're talking about Morata scored at the minute 4th, and then the 18th. This is something very common for Real Madrid, losing games really early. They enter to the games so mellow, so quiet, so relaxed, that this has been something that has been their Achilles heels. And it's one of the reasons why Real Madrid, actually the last Champions Leagues that they won, was always behind and coming back to play the games because they start very slow in the game and then they catch up. But this time was too much for Real Madrid. Morata scores in minute 4. Then Antonio Griezmann comes inside because Toni Kroos loses his mark. And then David Alaba assumed that Toni Kroos is behind him. Fran Garcia doesn't close up. And then Kepa also misses the opportunity to read the ball the way that it should have been. Antoine Griezmann actually comes inside, scores that 2nd goal. Then Morata scores 2 minutes after the 2nd half just started. But before that, Toni Kroos does an awesome shot from the outside of the 18, scores the 1st goal for Real Madrid. And then in minute 45, there was a goal that it was actually very, very, very controversial because they called it off. They actually called off the goal from the VAR because they called an offside on Rudiger. Now, the tricky part is that Rudiger is offside. Yes, correct. He is offside, but is not officially offside because he doesn't play for the ball. Actually, David Alaba and Camavinga, which are the 2 people that plays for the ball, David Alaba hitting the pole, the ball hitting back, and Camavinga scoring the goal. Rudiger was called to be offside just because he was a little bit behind the lines. However, he was not even close. There was no way that he will make the play. This is usually not called offside. However, the machine took advantage, said that he was offside. They marked that he was offside. He was offside on the mark. However, this makes a big controversy. And right now, Real Madrid is fighting because they're saying that they've been actually hoaxed or robbed of this tie, because this would have changed everything in the game. It would have meant the tie. It would actually turning all the rhythm, the roles, because Real Madrid was having a 60% at this moment of possession of ball. They had Atletico Madrid only defending, not been able to go outside and attack. However, Madrid came outside in the second half. Luka Modric comes outside as a change. Morata scores the goal. This actually was the nail in the coffin for Real Madrid. This closes of Atletico Madrid a really good sensation. They win at home. They win against their rivals. It's a very big win for them. My reading about the game, I think Ancelotti lost the opportunity to be able to bring Joselu back in the game. I think Rodrigo is trying to put too much pressure on himself. The absence of Vinicius Jr. has been very critical for him because he's trying to come inside and become the key player, but he's forcing a lot of plays, giving him the opportunity that he's not been able to show off the way that we know that he can. So Bellingham today was trying his hard to try to create plays, try to be there, try to get the position, but Atletico Madrid had a contention and a resolution for him, so they stopped him. It caused a little bit of desperation on Real Madrid squad. They started shooting from the outside continuously, thing that did not work out. Now, the absence of Carvajal was very noticed today. Lucas Vázquez was suffering in that corner, and actually the two goals that came on the center came right through that corner through Lino, which Lino was making a nightmare completely for Lucas Vázquez. Now, once Tchouaméni comes inside the game, it actually calibrates a little bit and balance out the game. So I think one of the mistakes Carlo Ancelotti noticed that having Luka Modric and Toni Kroos together is not the formula any longer for this team. The center back has suffered a lot when these veterans are playing in the squad. So I think this is going to be a lot different. We did see that another mistake that he did was taking outside Joselu. Joselu against Union of Berlin, against Real Sociedad was very key because he will fight against the center back consistently, especially a team that defends a lot. There's a lot of centers on the balls, and Joselu, we know that is actually one of the really talented players hitting with the head. So having that said right now, it's not the end of the world. It is a loss of position. We know that Real Madrid is going to try to focus now to not lose any further games, because we know that Barcelona is going to lose very few points during the year, especially how this Barcelona is developing and looking really, really, really good week in, week out. So the next games for Real Madrid is going to be next Wednesday, 27th of September. Unión Las Palmas is actually visiting Santiago Bernabéu for the game. And then Saturday, September 30, the current second place Girona is going to host Real Madrid at Girona. So it's going to be very interesting to watch these games. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey, there's good times, bad times. Today's not the most fun time for Real Madrid fans. So I still have to do the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share with your friends, and don't miss out. I have a lot more shows coming up. I have a lot of programs to show up. I do have a couple Barcelona fans that are going to come and join us in the show. And then I do have also Premier League people and experts that are come around in the show, and I'm going to be interviewing them and showing them how this sensation has been also from the Premier League standpoint. So I hope you enjoy the show. Don't miss out, and I'll see you until next time. Thank you so much for synchronizing Fútbol con Bambam. Ciao!